yeah, making mincemeat of Power Vision at the moment. You can see we've seen Dastan already a little animated about how things are going. Power Vision always.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. Power Vision, I think, always understood that it was going to be difficult maintaining a level in Tier 1. You know, James was very forthcoming about that. Dastan was well when they won the Blast event at the start of the year. And it's just kind of been up and down all over the place since then. So I think there's a lot of sort of internal pressure to make sure they maintain that form.
Oh, definitely. Look for them for the Power Vision. Going to be a legit contender. Top 15, top 10 team perhaps, and they've just completely gone off the boil. Once again, though, Tai Lu making the most of these momentary weaknesses in the defense. Connector has just ran straight through. Jam Young gets one, does get traded back. Mercury with a decent angle, but he's essentially alone. Not anymore. G walks up into Connector. It's a quick fire shot onto Yellow. There is only 30 seconds on the clock. This can still get out of control if Tai Lu don't make the most of it. Flank comes through from Muzia, but decides against it onto CT because they've got their eyes on B. Good shot from James. He is being flanked from behind, though, and he knows it. That's why he's pushing forward, going to try and deny this bomb plant, but Mercury finally connects the shot.
Really tough position there for James. There's so many different ways that Tai Lu probably could have converted on this round. But with that time being low and James hitting that first shot, there was a real possibility, but a very low chance. He could have clutched back and stolen this round from Tai Lu. This is, I mean, it's a little harrowing for Power Vision. I'm sure that they themselves are incredibly disappointed about how this game has been going so far. The reads have been off. Also, individually, the players, when they have been offered duels, Tai Lu are just looking sharper on some of these head-to-heads. I think that's one of the things we like to sort of easily characterize Asian teams for, is that we understand they can shoot. The problem has often stemmed from being one or two metas behind. You know, I think with the emergence of sort of passive AWPers and setting star players up in anchor roles and, you know, facilitating drastic entry fragging that, you know, we've seen the shift to CS2. Tai Lu always feel like they're still playing, you know, the Forza old James style calling. 2 metas after that's already fallen out of favor. So that can sometimes be the predicament that they find themselves in, is that they have a very strict style they want to try and iron out for themselves, while also still offering up some of that explosive aim flair that we know that they can bring.
It's one of those key things about these players and teams over the years. I mean, I remember back at DreamHack Malmo, the DreamHack Masters Malmo event in 2016, where Tai Lu managed to qualify, and they actually went way further than people expected. This all the way through to the quarterfinals, if I remember correctly, where they lost to Na'Vi, who went all the way to the finals. That was a team with Mo and Fancy One, somebody attacker, and that was always the thing. Like, these guys are insanely talented mechanically, but sometimes it was the strategical elements that let them down. Very one note at times. Great shot from James there. In the meanwhile, he barreled the gun through on the Palace. That is Zero's gun. Mercury in the meanwhile, though, is going to fake the bomb, trying to throw James into the open. It's worked. He gets 2. Zero is just lighting up the scoreboard, and he's going to clutch out as well with a 4K.
That is marvelous from Zero. I mean, out from Palace a little late, but James had already pushed 2 players into the grave with that ult from CT. It looked like they were in trouble. Didn't have the follow-up utility. The timing from Jam Young out of connector. You can see James just wreaking havoc, but then Zero swinging out wide from Palace catches both of them from spawn. And Mercury was ready on the lower side. He didn't plant that bomb. He was in no hurry. He wanted to take those fights towards spawn, and he didn't actually have to contribute all that much. Zero's just too damn sharp.
Harkening back to what you said earlier as well, like, listen, he maybe didn't have a great major individually, But you think given enough time, this guy's going to show his value. And we're seeing glimpses of it. He's shining so bright in this game already. Up to 10 kills, 2 multi-kill rounds, and 120 ADR to this young gun. Really impressive. And it feels like all of his kills have been incredibly impactful as well.
I had the luxury of seeing him play under Change the Game, and you could tell he was going to be someone. And so far starting off well. Not so great for Jamyoung in this round, though. 4 and 5 currently. Takes the AWP shot to Jamin. Caught on that blow of the smoke, but once again, ability. Molotov onto default will force players out of position, but they found another kill via Cielo. All but able to trade Mosea out, and so they have a 2-on-4 where Tyloo don't necessarily have a stake on either bomb site. Lovely shot from G, though, and there could be an escape path if they just over... And they do exactly that. That's the rotate back to B. That's been cut down. And so now this bomb can make its way safely into an open site.
I think James will be bitterly disappointed with himself. He didn't land that shot. He had the good read. Just slightly slow on the draw. I thought he's had a bad game by any stretch. He's got 8 kills. But now G has been fully activated. A terrifying duo between him and Zero. He spots the player but switched to his knife. The timing could not have been worse. And now it's down to the IGL, Mercury himself, to try and dial in the winning formula. Bomb ticking away. Still plenty time left on the fuse to go for the defuse. But unfortunately, there are no kits in the last 2. And although that may be the case, Zelio means bad intentions with that AK and makes the lack of kit not really a problem any longer. However, it was so close again. And if G doesn't switch to his knife, gets the shot on the window, that round's probably just done.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate timing. I think he was just about to change his angle and then caught just a glimpse of that player as he was finally committing to the wide swing. That is really bad time there for G, but you can only wipe the sweat off your brow if you're Paravision. They had a 4-on-2. They weren't in with a, grandiose buy. They were in with pistols, SMGs. It was a scrappy investment, but sometimes that's what you need to bring yourself back into games. You see the best teams in the world. It's part of the reason why Vitality were such a threat. It's the reason why Falcons probably won the major as well. Is these teams, as you scale up, you win. When you win the rounds you're not supposed to, that's when you become a real threat. And you can really do a lot of damage as well to the other team, just morally knowing that they had so many advantages, and essentially it is a squandered opportunity. So a pathway has opened up for Paravision to come back into this game.
Has opened, yeah. I think it's going to be littered with obstacles and traps and pitfalls, however, because as you said, I mean, Tyloo have already stolen a couple of rounds they shouldn't have won, and even ones the Paravision have taken have been at great cost. Yellow, though, is trying his damnedest to give his team a chance to get back into this. Zwei, accompanied by a flash, shuts down the apps, but G is still standing, not for much longer. Zwei puts him down a couple of pegs. But Yellow, again, a ton of impact, up to 9 kills. Those 2 frags, though, standing tall on Catwalk, delivering the round for his team.
Yeah, I mean, so important he got that first kill so easily, because, you could see the spacing. He was swinging out wide and actually couldn't trade Cielo out appropriately, and it kind of meets the same fate. This is why these force buy rounds can just be such a big confidence swing, because not only does it put yourself in a good position economically, especially on that CT side, but now Tyloo are in a bit of a bind. Full investment, they've got 2 AKs, 3 pistols, and if they lose this round, it'll just have to be a scrappy force buy.
So utilizing the AWP up on the B side of apps. Trying to maybe bait for a shot. You can see that he's giving himself enough time to react. You jump across. The timing there could not have been worse. Flashbang is good, but the damage is already done. Molly out, but it's all a ruse. It's misdirection, and Zero tries to get himself activated with the AK. Does get a frag. Does fall prey, though, but the bomb is also under control. That smoke is going to fade away momentarily on ramp, and then they may miss their window of opportunity. So Mercury going to be trying to pick up that rifle and come back towards G, but G's been nullified by Zillow, who goes in again and does a ton of damage to Mercury, drops him to 5, and he's easy pickings for Zwei in the end.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous. I mean, Zwei on that AWP, I wouldn't exactly call him poor on it, but when you're not a primary AWPer swinging into an angle like that, when there's a clutch on the table, there have been greater missed shots, I think, so far this game, already demonstrated by some of PowerVision's difficulties on this CT side. I got a little worried, but Zwei does just what he needs to.
Scrappy buy you were talking about as well. Last round of the half, so obviously you got to put all your pennies and pounds in, all your cents and dollars. It's only the one rifle, and it's Jam Young. Kind of surprising. I honestly, if I'm Jam, I don't know he's one of the star players of the team, don't get me wrong, but feed the hot hand, give that to Zero. The way he's been playing so far, like consistently getting entry strikes. Now I've said that, watch Jam Young get an ace. As an ace being tossed in onto ramp. Player on the ninja spot. It's going to be Hobbit, and he dials in 2. Jam Young gets 1, but that's all he can muster in this round. And although the flash is good to force away Jane, I don't think Tyloo can plant just yet. There's way too much pressure being applied.
Yeah, really nice clears and didn't fall foul to any of the shenanigans here for Tyloo at the end of the half. A 7-5 T-side campaign, though, is nothing to scoff at. They're just going to maybe look back at that half and think, oh man, if we didn't lose that force buy, maybe we don't open the door, leave it ajar slightly for PowerVision to come storming back into the half. But they were calling circles around PowerVision. I think ultimately what changed for them on that CT side is that they just started playing a bit more standard. You know, they had an initial game plan of playing heavy on bomb sites, maybe trusting in their ability to retake as well if they, gambled the wrong side of the map. But they were getting destroyed, actually, when they were doing that. And they actually talked themselves out of going for some of these retakes because their position was so poor. And I don't blame them for that. But when they started playing a little bit more standard, these 3-2 splits, and just applying a little bit of presence on middle, Tyloo encountered a few more difficulties in converting as many T-side rounds.
Highlight real top here from the replay of the first half, and it's mainly dominated by Tyloo up until around this mark, and this is where PowerVision started to mount their comeback. It was 7-2. 7-1 at one point, I believe. So a good turnaround in the end, and fairly even affair. Again, this is a map Tyloo are pretty strong on, albeit mainly regional matchups. Top P. Is that a G knockoff or something, I guess?
I don't know, but I saw a G with massive guns. And I don't know if he can pull off all those guns if he's been... If every time he does an international event, all the commentators are trying to give this man so much ice cream.
That's just fuel for the gains, as far as G's concerned.
Yeah, protein ice cream. I have seen that. That is a thing you can do. Like people are buying like ice cream makers and putting protein powder in it. And it goes crazy apparently.
I'm a bit surprised though at how subdued G has been in this game, because he's typically one of the lively guys. It's getting super loud. I mean, at the major he was screaming his head off every time they won rounds, and yet he's in front of a home crowd here. He's had a couple of nice plays, and he's actually been very chill, very calm. I have to say I'm a little bit surprised at that. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing. Maybe he's just locked in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, G is kind of an interesting character in that internationally, most people love him. I think there was a very real vocal... I don't know if they were like a majority, but I'd probably argue it's a minority. I mean, most vocal minorities make their presence seem bigger than it is. But there were quite a few people that seemed to be, I don't know, kind of hating on him for his personality, which was strange because that's why everybody loved him internationally. But there was a bit of a divide, so maybe it's just a bit, yeah, he's keeping himself tempered, maybe not leaning too hard into being energetic and pumping up the crowd when there's still a lot of Counter-Strike to be played.
Sure. Yeah, pacing himself, perhaps. And speaking of a lot of Counter-Strike to be played, we are live into the second half. Now, Tyloo will be occupying the CT side. Some Julies there to meet the Palace push. And in the very capable and very solid hands of Zero, who's had a hell of a half. Slowly peeking out is James. Bomb is in control on Palace side. So, for all intents and purposes, this is going to be a B hit, or an A hit, pardon me, as the nades start to come in. Mollies and smokes. Zero pulled in. Pivots around. Insta headshot. Beautifully done. But Hobbit and Zwei are keeping this round alive.
Oh, now only Zwei, because Hobbit was dealt with after his one. Just getting stopped at the gates. Great double there from Zero. Support from CT also worth its weight. Now Jamyang taking up position inside of Palace. It'll be very, very difficult for Zwei to read this. Might have heard a player cross onto default. And so he might be able to piece it together. Hobbit's actually going the long way. Or, sorry, not Hobbit. Jamyang. Reading the wrong side of things. But yeah, Jamyang's actually pushed fairly far through Palace. Making sure, I guess, he doesn't reset and go the other way. Because that bomb is inside that Palace entrance. So Zwei will need to mantle up to get it.
Yeah, I can understand why he's taking his time and trying to be diligent on this. But as you say, the fact he doesn't have control of the bomb means at some point you have to just fully commit and roll the dice. Comes up Snake Eyes, and Tyloo will claim their 8th round. The second pistol goes in their favor. And it kind of is, once again, Zero. Those 2 kills on the balcony. The first one just flicking to his right-hand side and nailing it with the Julies. Really putting his team into a fantastic position. He climbs up to 13 kills. Top fragging on the server by a couple just ahead of Jello, who was the main man for Paravision. We'll see if he can continue that going forward on the T side.
Yeah, especially because Zero got caught partially blinded by the flash of the Paravision. Surprising he even got that first kill. Oh, Zwei will take a swing and a miss on the jump spotter in Jamyang. This has been something that's been criticized a bit for Tyloo, is also that they use Jamyang as the B-apps guy. And there are a lot of maps where you have star anchor players, but B-Mirage is the one that stands out. You know, most of the times it's not a star player that's playing that position. It's usually your worst player, because there's a lot of options you can do to sort of stall and break time so that your teammates can come in.
Yeah, I think it's also a position where the variance is less, because it's sort of like a bottleneck choke point. So even a player that maybe doesn't have the greatest aim can still point the gun in the proper direction, and more often than not get a kill or 2 out of it. Plus, get hit on it as much from apps, I guess you could say. Meanwhile, though, do see a little bit of contest out on middle. Looks like they're trying to boost themselves into the window. 2 players strong. James, one of them. Hobbit, the other. Glocks, P250s in play with a deagle for Zwei. At 25 seconds left. Like, Paravision, you've kind of got to die here, boys.
Yeah, bleeding the round dry.
Press answered. Headlong into Zero and G. A full house of frags between the two of them. And this eco goes barely anywhere. They were looking to try and catch a player rotating through middle, and it just never came forward for them.
Yeah, it didn't really give them many chances either, Tyloo. They played fairly safe, didn't overexpose themselves, waited for that timer to tick down, didn't hunt for information, trusted in their setup on sites. Yeah, fully leveraged that at weaponry advantage, but guns are out now for Paravision. See what the approach is. They were pretty ride or die in the first 6, or I hated to do it, but there's around 7 rounds where they were just sticking true to one game plan, one philosophy. They're not going to have a lot of correction time on this T side to make that same mistake. Looking like it's going to be an execution on the B side of things. They throw an aggressive flash to kind of feign a rush call or a burst decision. But they don't actually jump on that. Just that one flash, it forced Jamyoung back.
Yeah, almost feigning as if it was a push, but then because nothing came behind it, almost trying to make them believe it's a lurk player. But they're not budging. There's no reason for Tyloo to budge an inch at this point. They've got very good positions overall. Got Con covered, catwalks covered. A fifth player in the form of G is now moving around the CT spawn. He's getting interested over on the B side. 40 seconds left. Paravision Molotov onto the balcony. But Jamyoung's able to get away. Flash completely blinds him. But Mozia, once again, is laying it down. G has been undetected. He can deny the spawn plant. And that should be the round that falls with it. Jane with the arduous task of trying to clutch in a 1v3, encircled by CTs. And who else but G to kill him and put them at a 10-5 score?
Yeah, I mean, really well done there from Tyloo, not jumping the gun. You know, there was a very real possibility they start to pull away from bomb sites once the smoke sponge blew on the A play. They get caught by this great entry flash to set up Jello, but having Mosea as that safety net, and then G already making that early rotation, cheating back over to that B bomb site before the exec happened, made a world of a difference. He just implanted himself so early that Paravision had no idea. There's a real temperament to Tyloo that's, I think, maybe caught me and maybe even Paravision off guard, where they're not making some of these rash, independent decisions that, you know, if you looked at Tyloo, even at the major, there was a real issue with that.
I don't want to get carried away because I've been let down by Tyloo before, but I have to say, the way this team is looking right now, I am impressed. I've got to say, sure, it's Paravision. There's a lot of caveats you can put in, but the way they conduct themselves, like you're saying there, their aim is just so on point. Tons of ability on this squad. Really good calling as well, especially in those first 5 rounds on their T side. It was like they were always a step ahead of Jame at every given turn, which is not an easy thing to achieve from Mercury's perspective. So there's a lot to be happy about if you are a Titan fan right now. Flick from Jay is pretty solid. Once the player of Hobbit presented himself, he was quickly snatched away. What goes away may come through with the Deagle. It seems like that's probably all they're going to get out of this. And although they will have a bye coming around the corner, they have ran out of rounds. 11-5 now. There we go. G starting to get interested with the crowd. Yeah,
I mean, I was not expecting this Paravision performance to be so pedestrian. Because Tyloo are making them look like a rank 50 team in the world. Not a team that was winning trophies where Vitality and Falcons were in attendance at the start of this year. Really some kinks to work out with this new look Paravision. Tyloo looking real good.
Yeah, I think some people are getting carried away after Paravision just steamrolled over Alliance. Although, to be fair to Alliance, they did just also get a W against NIP, so it's not as if they're in the 0-2. But people getting really excited by that performance, and it's like, I'm not going to take one map and assume that Paravision is back. And this is a bit of a call to reality, I think, this performance so far.
There is a poetic justice that a Swedish team has beat NIP, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm kind of more Danish now at this point, which is weird to see. Every time I see that flag, I'm like, something doesn't seem right to me.
There's an internal battle of the Nordics.
There's also a battle in this round for Paravision to try and take control of their own destiny again. They have got the opener with Slaxy Jez, but again, not for the first time, they're taking their sweet time in this round. Sub 40 seconds. Need to get a move on.
Tyloo are ahead of it as well. They've already pushed Mosea through the B side of the map, so they know this is going to be an A side finish. Just about whether or not Jamyoung gets caught in between a rock and a hard place, because those lurks inside of window, the player that can emerge from connector at any time. 20 seconds. Paravision are still taking their sweet time, and it's taken so long that Mosea is in a great position to spring in on this flank. All he needs to do is prevent the bomb plant. But Mercury swings out. Plant denied from Mosea, and now just priority should be to stay alive. There's no time to punch in those digits. It's been stolen at the final hurdle. Paravision just bleed themselves off that clock. And for the Time Lord James to lose track, for that clock to betray him, it is just Tai Lu's day.
You live by that sword and you die from it, and I can't imagine what Dastan is feeling right now. He must be molding. Because Paravision have looked toothless in this game. It's not a one-off either. Like, we were even saying this as the round was playing out, Yumi. Like, once again, they are taking their time. They are allowing all of these momentum sort of elements with these rotations to come through in favor of Tai Lu. And they're not a team that's going to give you a second chance. As you said at the end, it was a case of just deny the bomb plant, you win the round. Doesn't matter if it's a 2v4.
Yeah, this is a really harrowing position for Paravision, but it is, I guess, really some positive signs for Tai Lu. And yeah, we can jump the gun. We do it all the time in Asia. You know, you said you've been let down by Tai Lu before. We have been let down by Tai Lu many times. I won't pretend like Asia isn't my niche, and I understand exactly what Tai Lu can be sometimes. But it's always that potential. And they're certainly realizing that in this game.
I think it's also as well, Yumi. It's like it's not just the ability and potential and these kind of like buzzwords, you know, of like teams that haven't made it yet but could. It's also when they're in the flow state, they're such a fun team to watch, man. They're just an entertaining team.
Yeah, but Paravision have also just missed their top con smoke, so there's this massive gap for G. You know, this is about everything that can go wrong is going wrong.
James at least does get a kill back, claws them into an even keel, but look at the time. Guys, at some point, you've got to start getting quicker. I don't know what James is doing.
It's a dive out of Palace.
It's 12-5.
They're clearly having fun on Tai Lu. Zero's jumping on top of players' heads. Nade does actually miss the mark completely, and the dink onto James is significant. Low HP remains, and he's now last man standing. Captain has to come in clutch. A 1-on-3 will be difficult. Smoke on that bomb, and he cannot protect it from all angles. They just jump at him. USP's drawn, and the rifles will hound him down. A 13-5. Was expecting a bit more of a barn burner between these two teams, but Tai Lu make Paravision look like noobs, quite frankly, here on Mirage. A very dominant display from the hometown heroes.
Yeah, there's nothing I can really add to that. You're just on the money across the board on this one. I mean, Paravision never looked like they were in the game. The only player that I would maybe say Sean at any point was Zello. Especially on that CT side, on catwalk, on short, he was consistently keeping them in these rounds. But what happened on that T half? That is 7 rounds in a row, actually 6, pardon me, rounds in a row on CT side that Tai Lu won, completely uncontested. And the only round that Paravision got a bomb plant was that last one, including getting timed out. The rest of the half was as easy as you could like. And like you're saying, you're missing basic stuff like connector smokes. It's just unacceptable. And the changes they've made, sure, Hobbit and Slaxyjez come in, fine. You maybe not expect them to be a well-oiled machine just yet, but you expect to see more from them than what we just witnessed in that last game.
Yeah, I mean, very disappointing stuff from Paravision. The structure broke down, their read on what was going to happen in this game broke down, but I think also shout out to Tai Lu. They were being more proactive than they've been in some previous outings against teams of Paravision's caliber. So I think we are getting ready to throw it down to Baseline J and Banks, who are going to be getting ready to throw up an interview with both Zero and G.
done that to me at all events. 今天赛前的时候呢，就周一就非常自信的走过 Banks， 然后跟他说啊，我们会2-0的，非常自信。你为什么会这么自信呢？因为我前段时间换了个键盘，然后状态特别好吧，然后就是很自信嘛， 谢谢大家能够来到现场支持我们吧。主要是我觉得你们对我们的支持是我们能够赢下比赛的很重要的一部分原因。So I got a new keyboard a while ago, and ever since that, I've been just feeling supremely confident. And also, thanks everybody for coming out to support us. We love you guys. I love that. The new keyboard changes everything, full confidence. I also want to ask you about your teammate, because I know if I ask him, he won't tell me so much about him. But what makes him so good fitting into this Tai Lu as a young player? What does he bring? What does he add? You want to do it in English? 直接你要整英语吗？来，我觉得 Zero 给我们带来很高的火力吧。然后 Zero 这个选手，我觉得他真的是天赋特别高吧。他可能现在在 CS 上的市场可能只有4000、5000，我觉得他的未来不可估量。然后 Zero 是和平精英转 CS 嘛，然后这也是我对他就是天赋的认可吧。然后我觉得作为天龙来说的话，非常高兴能够有这样的年轻学员能够加入我们。然后我觉得我们一定会稳步提升，然后我们会成为有史以来最好的中国战队。Well, I think that Zero is actually is an insane talent because he only has like about 4K, 5K hours in CS. Before CS, he actually came from PUBG Mobile. It's a mobile game. What? And that's why I think that with his addition, he brings insane firepower and he brings just youth. And I think that with him, we can become the greatest Chinese Counter-Strike team in history. Wow, okay. I love that. That's a lot of high praise. Thank you, G. For you, Zero, you come into Tai Lu. It's the biggest organization in Chinese Counter-Strike. How has your journey been? How has it been developing, going to these events? How good do you feel with your position in the team and your role? 就你来到天路，天路也是在中国 CS 界最负盛名的队伍。那么你目前的这一段旅途都有什么体验呢？感觉体验特别好吧，因为天路是国内最强的战队，加入天路是我此生的梦想。I've been feeling great. To be honest, Tai Lu is the greatest Counter-Strike org in China, so it's always it's a dream come true for me. And in terms of it being a dream come true, you guys are now 2-0. You are playing really well alongside G. You guys are looking great. This is a crowd here, but tomorrow if you win, you will make it to a big arena. What would that be like? What would it mean for you? 说到梦想成真，你们现在2-0啊，然后你们现在有这么多的观众支持你们，那你们如果再赢一个系列赛，你们将进入淘汰赛，然后又有更多的观众。明天能赢当然是最好的，然后我也很希望这次查表能达到一个非常好的成绩吧，因为毕竟这是在国内的比赛，想在国内比赛打得好一点。So if we win tomorrow, hopefully it'll be very good. Obviously, we really want to do well in XSE Pro League because it's a Chinese tournament, and it's always like we always want to do well when it's a domestic tournament. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing it. And lastly, I just found out you were playing PUBG Mobile before. So which game's better, PUBG Mobile or CS Zero? 所以和平精英好玩还是 CS 好玩？CS 好玩。Yay! All right, and I'm going to send this one off. Guys, already 2-0. They're looking to go through to the arena tomorrow. So make some noise for G0 and Tai Lu!
All right. That is a full-on interview, and I'm so glad we have Gavin down there alongside James, of course, just to get some words from these players and allow them to fully articulate themselves. Like, that's the first time I've heard that Zero is a ex-PUBG Mobile player of all things. But yeah, looked damn good in the server, and Tai Lu looked as impressive as well. So really nice to see that there is some growth and also some belief that this is going to be a project that lasts going down.
Double digits for WBT. Next step. Starts off with a headshot on Scannic. M-Star eliminates Mara2K. Lewandowski takes down Swemmy. And M-Star finds Tired. Okay, the recovery from Misa is good. Next step in Flipper. There is time. And next step gets the headshot on Zoedsta. Misha, they want to find the kill on Flipper, and they will. Next step has it all to do. He's revealed his position, and Meltovsky strikes again with the sniper. Misa, round number 6. Alright, maybe. They will bounce back. A timeout call from WBT. Got 3 rifles, an SMG, and a pistol for WBT. What's the plan for the offense? Window smoke. So, gonna take down Swemmy. WBT are pushing on B from mid to Temple, and we do have Soul there, but not any longer. M-Star, they line up. He gets himself a double kill, nearly to the third. Zoedsta executes Tired, and Flipper falls to Scannic. Misa get round number 7, and with this, they break the economy of WBT, which means there might be a chance that they can come back. Starting to believe just a little bit. Zoedsta. He's going to take down Tired. And another one. 2 frags found. Scannic. It's Zoesa to find another one. And the last two players are there as well. Flipper, nice shot with the Deagle. Scannic. Going with the USP. Getting a bit too excited. He will fall back. Matowski with the sniper. Kill found on Swimmy and Flipper. He's going to walk in eventually. Well played from Misa. They did lose one player, but it's not the end of the world. Matowski doesn't want to respect the smoke. He will go forward. Waiting for an audio cue for somebody to get close, and then he will peek. He's committed to the fight. Zvezda. The Molotov is going to touch him. He's safe in the window though. And here they come. Shoulder spotted. Gets the dink, but not the frag. Scannic is there as well. And Scannic will get the trade on tired. Spots the second player, but he's not going to deal with him. 45 seconds remaining. WBT. A main push. The op is holding. Matowski is not going to miss. Next step will fall. Smoke comes in. And WBT unsure as to which bomb side they should attack. And now Scannic is going to rotate for B as well. And that is the right call. We got Flipper and Swemmy on water. Heading towards connector. The smoke might pull a rotation from B. No. M-Star is holding with Sov. And M-Star gets the dink on Flipper, but not the frag. Now So needs to deliver. Gets the first kill. And the second. Can he find the last? No, he cannot. But he's done a lot. And 5 seconds remaining. Yeah, Maratuke needs to commit to the bomb plant. Scannic is going to take him down. And Misa win another very important battle. Only one round away now from tying the score. A timeout call by WBT as they are starting to feel the pressure. Let's see it. Misa. They've been playing well on the second half so far. A finish on the A side from WBT. We got a couple defenders from Misa. Scannic and Matowski both get a couple of frags. Scannic strikes again. Bomb is down. And Mara2k. There are 4 players waiting for him. He picks up the bomb and he's going to go for the plant of flood in immediately from Misa. Swemi gets one, Swemi gets a second. Trade comes in from Matowski. So much impact from that sniper. And so with the last on Swemi, Misa tie the score. Alright, we got a game in our hands. B-main aggression from Misa. Head spotted, Incendiary comes in the frag grenade after that. Flipper. Gonna go towards spawn. Misa just asserting dominance with the aggression. Deep nades as well. M-start. Oh, he's gonna get caught off guard. Zoetsa gets one. And the second. Switches to the USB, picks up that Tech 9. 3 frags from Zoetsa. And Sov is ready for a B-main. Gets 1 kill. And the last one. Well played from Misa. This has been one hell of a comeback, but job's not finished. They need 2 more, and that is much easier said than done. Alright, the 22nd round. WBT on another buy. Mertovsky has been good with a sniper on the CT side. Zoetsta. We will see some aggression. Scannic. Here comes a flashbang. Or that was a plan, I think. But I guess not. Another smoke on stairs, and Zoetsta has this solar position now. Mertovsky is going to assist. WB are going to wait out the utility. In the meantime, they're taking some mid control. Zoetsta. Top spotted. Nade in hand. Might get caught. 1 kill found on next step. But he's stuck in this corner. Smoke is going to give him a lot of space to work with, and Swemi is not going to go for that fight alone, but Mara2k eliminates M-Star on mid. And we have Flipper out on B. He's going to cash Solve. And that's the B side open. Zvezda and Scannic, they have money, so they're going to go for this for sure. And Zvezda takes down Flipper, but Tired shuts him down. And Scannic was waiting for that other player who was in carpet. But Svemi never really gave him a fight. And now, 1 versus 3. Scannic waiting for the smoke to fade. Tired just holding with a sniper. And Scannic is going to walk in. Nice shot from Tired. WBT will tie the score. They're not going to make it easy for Misa. Again with the smoke on stairs, suggesting some aggression. Double up setup from Misa. Martovsky and Scannic. Maratuke with his set piece. They're gonna go for the B bomb side once again. We got 3 players. It's Martovsky, Soul, and M-Star. And they still have a decent amount of utility. But it looks like they want to go for the fight. And oh, this is gonna be interesting, but I think that WBT should be favored. M-Star, oh, never mind that, he gets a double kill. Tired with the trade. So he's got utility, he's choosing not to use anything. And he's stuck in that corner now. And Tired's gonna take him down. Scannic with a response with a sniper. Maratuke and Flipper have to go from B main. Their teammates are dead. This is the only choke point. And Martovsky takes down Flipper. Nice shot from Maratuke, but he is going to give up. There's not enough time for the A bomb side, I don't think. Knife out. Sprinting towards A. Steps hurt. He doesn't care. And yeah, he realizes that he cannot be there in time. Still going for the plant. Oh, actually. Oh my god, that was close. Nice shot on Scannic, but no. So apparently there was time if he did not stop sprinting, but Zvezda was close and the pressure was good enough. A very, very close round, but one that goes the way of Misa, and they need one more to take us to that 3rd and final map. Money's not a problem for WBT. Lost bonus maxed out. They have the AKs. A Macton on Swim. It's not the end of the day. And for Misa, a timeout call because money's not great for M4 and full utility. For Scannic, that is. But it's more to talk about tactics. Do they want to keep applying the pressure again with that smoke on stairs? Or do they want to play it differently? Here we go. The final round of regulation. Next step. Minimal damage from the Molotov, but that can go a long way. Now the M4 can be one-shot headshot, it's the details. Boost for Tired, he doesn't have the sniper.
Hey guys, well, right here, right back with you, and I have some news. So, like I was saying, we actually had a little bit of a tech pause right there because of the Metanoia Wolves just not being able to connect on time. And very unfortunately, they will actually go ahead and give game number 1. So, yep, we are going to have Metanoia Wolves giving a little bit of an advantage to their enemy already set on. But I wanted to take this time to actually be talking with you guys right now at the moment and let everybody know that in this case, I feel like the Bexa team has already had a little bit of history against the Metanoia Wolves, honestly. And like we can see, I mean, the Metanoia Wolves, we are going to try to have them playing with the roster, which is going to be, like I mentioned, Speedy, Alencar, NTX, BCN, and Twister. Now, these guys, they also have been with us for a long time. Like I said, I mean, we are seeing, for example, veterans on the CCT scene. In this case, Alencar has been with us for a good amount of time, I believe. Also, Twister. BCN is a guy that really does provide a lot to the team. NTX is Speedy. Like every single one of them, they really had a little bit of experience. But the problem is that they haven't really been playing together for as long maybe as we should have, because we all know that the changes of roster always happen. But on the other side, for example, we can actually take a look at Bexa, and we can see that these guys, they do have, for example, some time planned together already. In this case, Bexa, I mean, we have Knowles, Jurison, Rainy, Neo6, and Sug. Like I said, Pedro Mucio, Sug being the designated sniper, I think he's coming up really strong. He really does have those numbers. I just want to see him perform as I have seen previously, because sometimes he just lacks a little bit. Like, he's just not as consistent as usual. It really depends on the maps that he picks. So maybe that is also something that we need to take into consideration in the future for the next upcoming matchup. Well, like I said, also, just giving you guys some info, some statistics, just in case you haven't checked it yourself. So, the Metanoia Wolves actually picked Inferno for their first map, for their first pick, which is the one given away. In this case, they have a 33% win rate on that map from the 3 previous maps they played, and they just gave it away, so they're not going to be playing on their element. In exchange, we are actually going to have Bexa going into their pick, which happened to be Anubis. So let me show you guys all that right here. Yep, there we have it. And that is an interesting thing to happen. We're not going to have Mirage and Kashi on Cash, honestly. I wanted to see those maps. Those two are one of my favorites, especially Cash. It's been a long time since I've seen that map, you know. I just loved it when it wasn't the competitive scene, but right now it's actually back, and I haven't really seen it. It seems that just players haven't really accustomed themselves to actually being playing it a lot, just as previously. But let's just digress on that. So Anubis is going to be the next one coming up. This one was actually picked up by our boys Bexa, so this actually gives them a lot of advantage for the one game they're going to be playing. It is very possible that we might only have one game today, because Metanoia Wolves already gave Inferno their pick away to their rival. So I feel like also, for example, regarding the statistics, Anubis is a strong map for Bexa also. It is a T-sided map, so it really does help out teams that are just a little bit better on the attack. Like, they just feel their game style, their gameplay is a bit more aggressive, and they have an 83% win rate. It is a huge amount of win rate, and it's not just about, oh, maybe I just played like 2 maps or 3 maps and I won every single one. No, we're talking about 6 maps that they have played, and they have won pretty much every single one of them. So that is a big advantage these guys are going to be bringing into the table. Of course, if it happens to be that maybe we see Metanoia Wolves actually shining like never ever before, and they do the impossible, then we might even need to go into a decider, which in this case is going to be Nuke. And this tells me something interesting, because if Anubis is the map picked by Bexa, and this means that they are better on the attack on the T side. Maybe that's why they picked it. Nuke being such a defensive map on the CT side, we all know that it's CT-sided, then maybe things might actually go different for the Metanoia Wolves, and they could rack themselves one map on Nuke if it is possible. But for that, they would need to do the impossible. They would need to win against the enemy on their element, on Anubis. But ladies and gents, well, that is just how things are going to be for the moment. So let's just hope that things get really, really good between these guys. And talking about guys, let me just go ahead and put the guys the head-to-head, because we need to see all the information right here. We don't really have all the information, but let me fill you in on Nox, because this guy is coming up strong for Bexa. Very, very strong indeed. Now, Twister has also been having as much impact as he has been trying to. I feel like Twister is not really like the strongest guy on the Metanoia Wolves team. I feel like Alencar, being such a veteran, being such a guy that has been with us for so long, he actually calls the shots. He knows, has a lot more game sense. But in this case, Twister, he has been actually able to just be able to rack those skills, to be able to frag really good against the enemy. And Nox is going to be the one that also does a little bit of everything on the other team. So head-to-head, there we have it. Let's just go ahead and see how it goes, because we are going to have some people rooting for Twister and some people rooting for Nox. I hope that everything goes well for every single one of the teams. But ladies and gents, like I mentioned, that is just all the information that I can give you at the moment. Like I said, we're going to have to wait a little bit until the game actually starts, with one game advantage already going for Bexa. So let's just hope that everything goes out well in the end, and we are going to jump into a break while we get everything ready now for the second one, as we are just about to witness more CCT, more Counter-Strike for you guys, so that you can have as much fun as the players and as everyone watching this game. We'll see you in just a bit.
whatsoever. Dilladez then goes through the smoke and finds Tavern. Force by falls flat. Magno will get another kill. He's got back-to-back triples. 6-1 is Magno. Boom, 2-0 to the good. And it will have to be an eco now for Big. The issue you've got for Big is coming up against Bet Boom is always really tricky. I can't believe they've never faced off against each other, though. But interestingly enough, this is a map that Bet Boom haven't been the best on recently. But then you take a look at who they've lost to, and it's like, okay, well, you've lost to Spirit. You've lost to Monty, who are on good form at the Major. But then at the Major yourself, you beat the Monkeys on this map 13-6 on this map. 13-7, like, these are really good results. And sure, it's technically a different roster because you've got Siren coming back in. But, I mean, these individuals are still red hot. There's, I think, he's got a point to be. He was brilliant at the Major before. But JDC will find Zorta. It's a great start to this round, but the rifle, not quite recoverable. It's a well-timed smoke. How on earth are you gonna stitch this together if you're Big? I mean, you can't get the gun. So the best thing to do probably is just regroup and hit B. Siren will drop his smoke and it'll be well-timed. He's just holding the edges of it to make sure that no one pushes. He's gonna be in a spot bother because they are gonna push. There's going to be quite a lot of them that are going to push it in just a moment. Him and Magno need to hold down B. The good news is that Magno has been undeniable so far in this game. And there's not going to be any utility to really flush him out the corner. So he's going to jump in and land straight into Magno. Magno wanted. He takes the contact first. Him and Siren kill between them. In fact, make it the full house. Well handled, especially after the opening kill was found on Zorta by JDC. Meth with the control and towards under. Searching. Not quite securing anything apart from flashbangs right in his face, so he has to leave. But duck and dive out of there. And Big will start going through the motions of this map control. If you want to look to what this team to do damage from Big, Blameth is playing really well. I think Favon has really unlocked since Blameth has taken over in-game leadership duties. Tabson's individual level has gone up a lot too, which has been very impressive to watch. That's a sharp nade by Siren. And look at the reaction here. Actually, he's going to move over. Zorta's got to be careful. Short second player. Favon dropped instantaneously. Dilladez here too. So many defenders here to keep in. And in fact, Siren is going to get rid of Chris. Now posting. That is beautiful. Out of BB team. Siren now takes an opportunity to go all the way around the back bench. Flame F that was needed initially. And it's Flame F that hits the deck next. It is BB team up to 4-0. They look like they can do no wrong. They look like they're going to steamroll the groups, as they should. This is a team with so much going for them right now. Magno. I mean, he is able to get the trade, but this is still a player advantage. Big went even faster towards this B bomb site, and this time it works out. Flamef will find Dilladez. This will be Big's first round, most definitely. As Boomich and Zorta, all they can do is save. So the acceleration, that's going to pay off for Big. Good call out of Blame. He leads the charge, gets that double opener, and he gives Big that first round on this T side.
Terrorists win.
Come on then, what have we got here in round 5? Or 6, I should say. My apologies, maps is hard. When you're live? I mean 4 plus 1, brilliant, nice. It's going to be an A hit. It's going to be Zorta here. I'll tell you what, they're going to pop out of Palace instead. Dilladez tries to come from Sniper. And to be fair for Zorta, he gets away just about. He's now going to start to scale. Zorta backs up round the corner. Incendiary drops forward to give Big space. Hits are working. They've been very good at getting into the bomb site, but it's just about holding on. BBC will get rid of Dilladez, but there's one more player on the back lines that you need to worry about. Grit to find Magno, but keep an eye on Siren. Boomich now giving him even more room. Really has to fall onto Siren. Shot from Grit. In steps Siren. First kill was his. He knows JDC was in towards middle. To find him, has to get this kill, can't do it. JDC manages. And Big will win back-to-back rounds.
What a bloody round. And Big are so back, kind of like other people in the call. Look, unfortunately, there were things going down. There's delays everywhere, left, right, and centre. But alas, we've got this game. And hey, Brandon, how you doing?
Hey, good. That was close. Felt like it was out of masterclass.
Well, what do we have here for the 7th? Big gun round going down both ways. Betboom forcing up into this, not necessarily the best utility to deal with any of this mid pressure that will come eventually. Big just going slow, single man towards A. 2 going to go for that late mid control in behind the top mid and window smokes. And 2 potentially coming through unders. No, they're just going to regroup and send it all the way back to A now that they've managed to place JDC here at mid.
Yeah, off they go. In fact, JDC is going to go with them. I mean, there's a lot of utility here for this execute, and there's not a whole lot of utility for BB. So what they need to do instead is try and catch a good timing. Kind of like this, except it's Favon that deals out the damage. Now Big, they're finding multi-kills. Dilladez wants to get involved, but it's Favon again over from Palace. He'll grab a triple. JDC will at least get one kill back. Sorry, it's Dilladez, that's a JDC, but I mean, it's not going to do anything. It's a 4v2. It's the bomb planted. It's round certainly over. Zorta's got the AWP. He's not going to go for this. And Dilladez will just about get out from jungle. So there's 3 rounds on the spin from Big. As soon as they made that Tech 9 Rush B round work, they are now just popping every which way onto these bomb sites, and BB just can't hold on.
Unfortunate, really. But look, they'll be able to at least take the AWP and the AK to the next, maybe go for a low buy around it and play for a few rounds in the future. But yeah, Big, going to be very happy with keeping 4 alive here. So far, so good. Getting that 3rd T round on the board nice and early. And this half is certainly firing the hell up. We enjoyed what we saw from Betboom yesterday. They looked like a whole different squad. So good to see that Big are really taking it to them right now. Let's have a look-see. Everyone's staying hydrated, getting ready for another big round of Counter-Strike. On paper, should be slightly easier here for Big moving into the next. But we'll see what round 8 holds for us here. Yeah, sweaty. Necessary to have one of those hand rags if you are a sweaty gamer. Mate, it happens. You know, sometimes your genetics just don't let you hold a mouse cleanly.
Yeah, no, that's valid. I'm surprised it's so hot over there, considering it's like coming up to what, 10 p.m. local.
But it's like oh no, wait. Well, you've seen like Cologne, right? It was 32 degrees at midnight or something. Like it was crazy.
Really? That's gross.
Everywhere's been this heat wave on this like northern side of the world is just holding the heat all day. It's crazy. Well,
Let's see if Big can keep holding the heat. They've won 3 rounds in a row now. They're looking very good. Rix has still got his AWP. And I mean, what? This is a saved ult for Zorta. This is Dildes with an AK, and the rest of the squad for BB are just on rags. Like, they're just not on anything good whatsoever. So, good luck.
ooh, bit of a misread though. As you can see, Barben's starting to come back towards A main, and these rotations almost fully caught off. Lame. Good HE will finish off Zorte. Oh, and he spots a bit of extra information as well. MagnoJez wins that fight, gets the AWP back, and just like that, Dildes with a double puts BetBoom in a much better position than what they were just before, especially coming into the round. Grix is posted waiting for someone to potentially overstep. But BB team just don't need to make a move here. It's Big that need to push forward. And Farvant arguably needs to be the hero. Does he expect one on either side of Con here? Man, it stares. This timing's good. The CT's doubling up and pushing into Con. Spots one, not the second. And now there is the element of surprise. However, Grix finds Dildes with his attention drawn away. The 2v4 almost working out here. Oh, there you go. MagnoJez drawing attention away and looking to cut him off on the cross to sight. Elbow spotted, almost dealt with. MagnoJez, he wants to take the fight to him here. Flash across the top, but aggressive angle wins it for BB.
Can't believe it. I can't believe they win the round like that. I mean, Dildes does everything, but the fact that Magno is able to not only hit the 5-7 headshot on Blame, but then pick up the AWP and do this, I mean, it's remarkable. He does secondary AWP sometimes on this team. The fact that he's already 13-5, the fact that he's showing this level of confidence, that's the MagnoJez we love to see. And that is a mood killer for Big. Like, they felt like they had the right reads, they had the complete idea of where this is going. They completely made Zorta out the round. Just get undone by Dildes. Nice shot from Grix. He'll get rid of Zorta, who's been having a really rough go of it so far on Mirage. When it comes to kills, lack of impact, really. That's the worry. We'll fall here, 4 versus 5. And now the defense have got it all to do again.
Big pausing. BetBoom looking to make a play here towards mid. Window smoke fades. Double up in Con. Eyes on everything. And look at this. Dildes making a move. He hasn't been seen. And the flash allows JDC to get some extra damage done. Spots Boomich over towards Con with the AWP. And in the meanwhile, big rotation. 3 players already plopped in Palace, starting to time their way out through the smoke. But MagnoJez, eyes up and ready. Able to bring it back to the 4v5. And he's going to try and cheat this rotation over to B, but it's a bad read.
Now this is your classic, let's gamble B. If it's B, we'll give it a bloody good go. And if it's A, we'll probably just save. Although saying that, Magno, this is risky. And yet, he could just deny the bomb, and he does. What? That's brilliant. He just tracks and traces tabs and right through that smoke. And in fact, the flashbang's going to let him go even further, but Grix will find him. Time now starting to be an issue, but Grix is holding for Boomich. The AWP for Big is bailing them out, and then some. Siren will find JDC at the bare minimum. Patching this one up is going to be incredibly tricky, especially because they know exactly where he is. Grix has already swapped to an AK. He moves further forward to get on the off angle. Nice
Oh,
shot
hold
out
up.
of Siren, but where on earth is BlameF? He's on top of default. So many off angles, and it's just enough to get Big holding on. But thank you, Grix, is what BlameF should be saying.
Ripe and ready. Seeing BlameF as well. Got top in the bloody DMs all across Europe half the time. Sitting there for days, training that aim. And it's been paying off. Big have been pretty good as of late. Obviously making the major, making the most historic comeback, 16-0. And that was on Mirage, right?
It was.
It was on Mirage. They do love a bit of Mirage. So you can literally never count this team out. BetBoom going to be buying down the bank. A couple of rifles. AWP in play. SMGs for Siren and Boomich to get up in the grills of Big. But as we've seen, Big's default, their slow early rounds definitely paying off, allowing them just to figure out what BetBoom are trying to throw at them.
It's another one of these low buy rounds that actually have got a little bit more venom to it. Maybe you have made ends meet worse before. Dilladez loves this peak in top middle. So careful. If you're JDC, BlameF will trade. In fact, he'll get a second. Magno will follow through. 3 versus 3. Nade doesn't land cleanly on towards Grix. In fact, it doesn't land on him at all. But Siren potentially could be the next point of contact, or baited in by Magno. As he takes stance over towards this B bomb site, that's where Big are going to go. And Zorta is maybe cheating a rotation over. Have they got a molly to oust Siren? They do, but do you really want to deploy that? Maybe. It'd be a good time for you to go if you're Big, because BB team have rotated all away. It's just Siren and an MP9.
Off angles, on off angles. And Siren might get the big time. He will get cleared, but won't get the double. Trade game favouring the CTs. Magno Jez at the back of sight. And Grix has a long way to go. Good molly forces Magno Jez into the open. And Grix is there waiting with open arms. Taps it. And it's just going to be a battle of timings. Who's going to look the right way first? Who's going to be faster on the scope? And Zerte goes for the no scope. Beautifully done as BetBoom. They will walk through with one more round. But again, you saw their money at the start of that. They bought down to nothing. And they're going to have to do the same again. So Big arguably can hit back straight away here.
I'll tell you what, really impressive round out of both Zorta and Grix. Because Grix knew immediately he needed to molly Magno out the corner, and he does, and he forces the 1v1, and he gets such an easy kill. But then Zorta just takes the space. That's the most impressive thing about all of that. He just goes, okay, well, if I just push through on this timing, he's not going to be ready for me. Especially because he can press tab and see that I am a sniper too. So it's great work out of Zorta. As you say, bare bones, but the same is true for Big. I mean, they've got Deagles. There's a hero Galil on tabs, and that's it.
Yeah.
And this could be the pivot point. This could be BB team. The difference between 6-6 and 8-4. Magno is 17-7.
Absolutely farming. What's that? In 10 rounds as well. Ridiculous performance so far from him, but there's a lot more to do. Job certainly not done. Big going to gravitate over towards the A site. Dilladez not too far away to help out Siren and Zorte. And after that smoke, there will be 30 seconds to go for this pop. Looking like it will be from the PAL side. Should be right side smokes. One probably on the ground there under BlameF. And a couple of flashes to try and create this space. But Siren, MP9 up in their face. Let's see how we can hold.
I mean, they're not going to flash them off. In fact, he's just going to take the fight to them. That's bold. And that could be the way in for Big. But Zorta He's provided a big impact of his own. A double kill immediate. Magno thinks about walking through the smoke or even just spamming out JDC. He plays protected presence to the orb just for a moment. Fernandez can step in, and there's simply no time to plant. Magno, of course, will get his fingers in the pie. He'll get another multi-kill, and that'll be BB team going up to 7 rounds.
Well played, well read. Zorte individually saving that one off the Siren. Maybe got a bit too big for his boots. Probably didn't expect 3 players so ready for a swing there on the Palace side of things. And a late timeout going to be called here, tactical, for BetBoom. Looking like they want to iron out the creases to make this an 8-4 half, which is, you know, quite important. Big getting 5 just gives them that extra room to breathe in the second half. And if they win the pistol, they can jump into the lead like it's nothing. Big on the other hand. It's a interesting buy. Again, obviously, last round of the half, you have to fully invest.
I was just going to say, if you're Fierce here, all you're saying to BBT was just like, let's just stop making silly mistakes. Because I feel like a lot of these rounds, Big have been invited back into them because of some individual, like Rush of Blood to the head, wide swing that doesn't need to be made. Like in the mid to late round, I think BB team have been amazing. But to get to that point for Big has been a challenge sometimes, but also it's been a classic case of BB team overextended. This is a missed window smoke. This is a lot of information, but in fact, Big is still going to go in anyway. Siren's got to hold on.
Let's see if he can even see a thing. Magno Jez going to keep him alive. Siren stops the swing on the backside of sight, but they know there's one more cheeky individual lurking over towards the bench side. At range, the Tech 9 shouldn't work like that, but JDC doing his best damn job. However, that will not be good enough. BetBoom with 3 alive at the end and 8 in the half. A very solid showing here on the CT side.
Can't believe that it's Magno to swap to a Deagle and just one Deagle, a player that's rushing in towards sight. He even gets the opening kill on the player that was rushing Siren, so he protects him too. Just look at how nonchalant he is. He just lives and breathes the game, does Magno Jez. I'm really glad that Boomich has figured out a way to unlock him, because now we're starting to see his true potential. 21 and 8, 150 ADR. That's absurd.
There's been a lot of absurd things we've seen in the best of ones so far, and it seems like that narrative is not changing just yet. Let's have a look at what Big can potentially do here on the CT side to get their way back into the game. Pistol, definitely a good round to take. Really swing is back in your favour, but Betman, when the pistol, I think Big could definitely be up the creek without a paddle.
Right, like they've got to rebound it immediately. And if they don't, and it's just going to be a momentum game for BBT, especially with the form that Magno is on, especially with the way that Zorto is powered up right towards the very end. There's that second kill I was on about ages ago. Well then,
And
I
we
think we're back
are
already in,
bloody
yeah.
back, mate.
We are, I think. We're syncing up our we're back, you know? So like we gotta be. We gotta be, surely. Although Magno hasn't got his hands on his keyboard or his mouse, so that gets me a little bit perturbed.
Yeah, that's definitely one way to put it. But let's see. Let's see what happens here in the second half once we jump in. I don't like the lack of hands on keyboards here, guys. Get them hands back on the keyboards, please. Right now.
Please.
Please. Boys.
Come on.
Hey, no, that's not a keyboard siren. That's a drink. Put it down. This is looking good. Some chitter chatter. Fist bumps. Yep. Second half, it's just there. Just there. And it looks like we should be back now. Maybe. Tabson having a yarn. And I'm going to call it Pistol Live in a moment.
Hell yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Could see it.
You bang on. Come on then. Favon has a little peek in towards the window, gets full blinded as you'd expect, but good block utility from JDC. We're trying to funnel these players in towards Grix, and it works out brilliantly. Siren hits the deck first, and BB team just can't see anything. They think about going towards the window. They change their mind. It's a good molly onto JDC, but they know that Grix is in the connector. They just can't deal with him. A third kill out of Grix. And Big surely have got the pistol locked in.
Yeah, they're on the way to it. 2v5. We have seen a couple of these so far this event. And with how spread out Big are, BB team do have an opportunity here. Grouping up, hitting B. If they can get past JDC, there should be room to plant, which will definitely help them out for that second round of the half. It's just a matter of how good this off angle is for JDC.
Someone in chat has asked why they're playing without hand warmers, because it's like 30 degrees. They're already warm. JDC, has he got hot hands? Did you say this off angle needs to work? I mean, even if it doesn't, he's still got Favon, and it works for at least a kill, which is perfect. And the fake plant will do nothing apart from give Favon a kill. Big are back.
Not too bad. Really got to lock on in for this one. Bet boom. Not going to buy. Game's too close. Magno Jez hedging his bet with a Tech 9 to play with. He is having a very good game, so understandably so. And Boomich with 2 flashes to potentially pop him out towards this B site. Deep insend. Bet boom. Going to go into the last ticks. Flash is coming shortly. Okay, Siren somehow taking out Magno Jez from behind. But in the meanwhile, JDC, good position over towards short. Going to be able to cut him off. Bomb plant goes down. There's money for the next round. Boom Mitch with the, what, 2-tap? Insanity. And somehow they've done way more damage than we ever thought they would. Incend forces Zorte into the open. And that should be everything done and dusted. Boomich, no more for him. Big round considering the lack of investment they brought in.
Yeah, fair. I mean, what, you get 2 kills and a bomb plant. That really isn't bad at all. If you're BB, I think Big are just grateful for themselves that they're able to convert the pistol and convert against the low buy. No craziness happening. But now BB team can invest everything. They can have everything at their disposal. You can get all the guns. Get all the util. Have all the fun. We like fun.
I do like fun. Let's see how much we are going to have of that here in the second half. Moldy, well placed. Magno Jez going to take that one tick. And surely it was heard by Blame. You can see head on a swivel, just trying to cover the top of Con and Jungle. Expecting BetBoom to go up with the right side smokes somewhere. It's just a matter of where that will be. Looking like a boost maybe happening imminently. And that A-split posture from BetBoom is looking pretty good.
It is looking okay, as long as Blame F doesn't look back in towards Con. He just keeps looking at jungle. This is nice, like lots of noise being made over towards short. And the flashbang. That's going to be really annoying. That's also going to draw the attention over of Blame. Flashbang here from Captain. He does. That's brilliant. But it's only one kill. But all that distraction has also got Magno in the window. But Grix has not only found Boomich, but he's also dealt with Dilladez. Zorta and Magno now have to try and combine. And it's Magno through the back lines, finding Blame F. 20 seconds left. Bomb now gets scooped. Zorta can plant safe, but it's Favon over the top of the stairs. Looking to be that difference maker, but instead, he gets his head ripped right off by Zorta. It's such a nice try from Grix, but it's BB team using the guns to their best interest.
Love that. Absolutely love that round out of BetBoom. Good posturing. They make it happen. Look, if Tabson was 5 years younger, I think he gets both those kills, but unfortunately, you know, you have to play it as it lies. Great flash to set him up for that first pick, and Grix as well. Lovely couple of picks there, but still not quite enough. The BetBoom individuals from mid, just dealing with everything going on from those B rotations, as well as Blame F just expecting that push in from the window. But again, Dilladez, Magno Jez, everyone just doing so well when it's necessary. And look at that, 9-6, picking up their first round on the guns. And Big as well. They don't really have a huge amount of money. So Grix going to be gifted the stick. Let's see where he takes it. Couple of pistols and that Famis around the buy, just to try to round things out.
It was really cool to see like all the different points of contact being taken, which got Magno all the spacing towards the window. Because as you say, like Blame F was looking at it, and the contact comes in from short, then it comes in at ramp. You lose track of everything, and that means that you lose track of Magno, who goes through the window into your spawn. That's the last thing that Big are expecting. Can Favon crack a skull with the Deagle? No, but it's okay. Grix is right next to him. In fact, the Orc rings true. Second shot doesn't come as easy, but it will be BB team getting out of there, and Grix is getting stuck on Favon, and Favon will still hit a headshot anyway. Favon is then swapping to the Deagle to try and find more damage, but he can't do it. All the kills are coming in a matter of moments. The BB team are somehow in a 2 versus 2. It's still winnable for Big. The bomb is not down.
Oh, there's util to create that space, though. And Big going 2 different directions together. Good communication from Tabson and Blame to tell Blame not to peek, as Tabson can't really play right now. Smoked off on the door. And they're just giving so much respect to BetBoom. Little tap. Oh, bakes Tabson out for the peek. And Blame hoping he can get his mitts on that Famis, which he will. And it looks like he is just going to be looking to save into the next. Or reposition for some exits. Let's see where he ends up. No kit.
You could go for it.
You can. You can. But he is worried someone's on short and taking a very long time to do this.
Yeah, okay. I think he's now talked himself out of it. It's one of those where if he just kept moving, like there's a real world there in which they don't consider apartments for a very long time, and he could have done it. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. I think Grix does really well to stay alive for as long as he did. The fact that Favon's able to get a kill on the Deagle as well, it really isn't that bad. And in fact, it's a very strong round out of Big, but the individuals are all powering up for BB team. Siren who was brilliant yesterday, who missed the major, is now 17-9. This guy has got a point to prove.
Three more. Necessary for Betboom to close things out here. Let's see if the saved Famis can lay down any groundwork here for big. Blame in a power position, but needs someone to help him out here to enable him to be that difference maker. Tapson's got that one flash, which is ready towards triple. He can flash through con, set Blame F up if necessary, or into con if Betboom walk this direction. And that's where they're currently postured for. Two players looking to make their way in. Insend won't tag up Blame, but he does make the footsteps, dropping towards Sandwich instead. Smoke towards the top of con as well, just to deny vision. And MagnoJez with the Mac-10. He's just going to be the money man, looking to find as much information as possible. Head on the swivel. Boomich dealing with Favin. And just like that, you don't think that there's any world where this one works out. Mac-10 retrievable. Pick onto MagnoJez. Brings it back to the 3v3, and that flash finds efficacy.
And now you can give it a go if you want to, right? I mean, you've got the biggest investment in the round as a FAMAS. You're in a 3v3. Siren, Boomich are so low. And sure, that might not be commed. You might not know about it, but that just means it's all the more favorable for you. Tabson will find Boomich. There you go. 3v2. No kit. The bomb is starting to get a little bit low on time, so that might be the only issue here. Big called this off. Yeah, looks like it. Never mind, they just want to play exits. They want to hold on to the AKs. I really thought they'd give that one a little bit of a look. But Blame F instead will find Dilladez. Is he able to get the second kill? He is. So nice damage being inflicted onto BB team. But when we come out of the player cams and go back into the game, you'll see how much money they've got. And the reality is it's not going to matter. At least Big will be able to scavenge some AKs.
It's something. It's hope. In the shape of a Kalashnikov. But it's waning. It's thinning. Betboom edging closer and closer to the ultimate outcome. And Big just going to be utilizing their final timeout as well to see if they can find what they're missing. And arguably, I don't think they're missing too much. I think they're just missing a couple of crucial shots in crucial moments, and that's it. Just those micro, little, fleeting moments in time. And Betboom is just, winning them round after round. You go back to like the 1v1s as well between like Zorte and Grix in that first half. And Betboom just keeps on winning those moments.
Crazy hyper carries as well, right? Like Siren and Magno are just owning Big.
Yeah.
Boomich has got 5 kills. Dilladez has got 7. It's actually crazy how much more consistent Big look when you look at the scoreboard from front to back. And yet, BB team are winning. Well, they're not winning this round, let me tell you. Blame F and Grix have just shut down the A site completely. They said it's closed. You're not doing it. And BB team go, all right, you can have this one. You've killed Siren. You've killed Magno. We'll come back next round. That somewhat also breaks the money too. Like the money is relevant now in this one, and it isn't great for anyone on this team. So what do? You save for a minute? That'll be boring, but that actually might be the best thing to do.
It's true. And they're in a good position to do so, but with 50 on the clock, are they going to have a sniff? No one showing them anything here towards mid, towards apps. And arguably, if they can get this pick onto Faven, then that's a plant. We know it, they don't. And JDC, he's just peeked mid, got the info that no one is there with 20 seconds. So he'll reinforce the B site, look to take point, and draw attention away from Favin here over towards Jail. But again, BB, they are not moving this direction. They're just locking in the back of apartments to save. So, overanalyzing a situation that doesn't even need it. Gotta love it.
This is
Chemistry.
first stage loss bonus, right? So it looks like Dilladez will be able to get a Galil. Zorta can then drop an AK to Magno, and one player will be on a Tech 9. I understand why you're breaking it down, though, right? Because, again, during this tournament, we've had players go for ridiculous rounds that we 9 times out of 10 don't see that happening in.
Yeah.
Thinking back to that defuse, right? So here
They're
we go.
playing silly.
Yeah. So Magno gets dropped the AK. Siren's the only one that goes wanting, but they do have a pretty comprehensive buy. The only thing they are lacking is util. But maybe they don't need util if Magno can just pop heads. I would be remiss to say, like, I think given the way that Siren's playing, Boomich, you should probably have given him the AK.
That's what a true leader would do. But maybe he's going out first. Maybe he's relying on Siren's aim with that Deagle, with that lurk in Palace, to just slide a Juan Deag over to Tabson or Blame. Currently smoked off and just waiting. That'll fade. Blame takes out the heavy carry. I was going to say hyper carry. I went to say heavy carry. Didn't work. Didn't really work. But Magno Jez is dead. And the A site is open for the taking here.
It is. Blame is going to run through this. Oh, yeah, he is. And that's a bit of a costly mistake because Grix now just gets caught as well. Tabson will at least find Siren. Brings it back into the 3v3. But there are even more trades, but they're all going in favor of the CT squad. It's now falls to Dilladez. 30 seconds left. I think he knows where both of them are. That's the tricky bit. No, he doesn't have an idea about CT. Favin takes the contact. JDC with the swing. And whilst it did look a little bit touch and go, Blame F will thank JDC because he will bail big out of a tight scenario and keep BB team off of map point.
Good defense. Let's see if they can do it. What do they need? 5 more. Early protocols coming through. Anti-rush utility towards apartments. Eyes on mid with the A1S and AK. And it's just a matter of time. No flashes, no nothing, just a P250 for Zorte. And arguably, look, with these low buys, we've seen that Boom win in certain ways, win financially by getting a couple of picks, and with those dinks, you can see Blame. He is hoping that there is no random HEs tossed into window. Fortunately for him, there's no utility for BetBoom at all. That HE will drop the bomb right out in the open. Dilladez with a Glock. Change to the P250. Sound cue's there, and Blame will find him. Clean round, which is what you want to see if you are a big fan.
Tell you what, right? Look at the consistency of Big when we come back again into the game. So it comes back. Because, yes, these are Ecos and JDC, but look, 20 for Blame F, 15 for Grix and JDC. Like, these are players that are contributing in a big way. Favin's on double digits. Tabson's getting there. Boomich isn't. Dilladez isn't. Zorte just about. Someone needs to be that third hero. That third prop for the BB team. Or you need Magno, Jez, and Sirens to get like an ace. Like it's one of those two things. But from what I've just said, that doesn't sound sustainable. And then relying on one of your players to step up and have another massive round, that also feels unsustainable. BB team are losing grip on this T side of Mirage. And look at this proactivity now from Big.
I love this setup. BetBoom have one flash, and it is not going into A main. Grix. He's been crispy on the scope, and... oh, he's going to miss that one, but sets up for Tabson. Now there's one man remaining, that's MagnoJez, who just needs to buy time and pick his fights, but into the crossfire they go. And this is looking good for Big again, unless Zorte can save the day. What was that? Almost a bloody 1v4 here. Good trade game. Bomb plant in the open. Smoke to CT, and there's one still up at jungle. Oh, where's he go?
I like this.
He just didn't slide into CT. Tucked away at triple. JDC and Favin playing this together. Zorte hoping he doesn't show his shadow, and he's timed it! He's split the wickets, and he's going to be able to do it all, BB! Doing it again! That's 12 in a round where Zorte should not have won.
That was awesome. I love that. The reposition, the decision, he goes, you know what, I'm not going to go into CT. I'm going to hide behind this triple bomb, and I'm going to take my timing. Because if you can just swing on the timing, that's how you can isolate the 1v1. And the fact that he's ready for Favon, it's the slight jump up, it's the split second he needs. And I said, look, someone needs to step up and have a big round. There you go, Zorte does. And BB team have got 3 chances to try and close this game now.
Crazy scenes. That looked so good for Big with the setup. But Zorte standing tall when he needed to. Let's see if MagnoJez can keep on pumping the numbers. Just shift walking through the smoke. There's so many CTs here. Yeah, you're not getting away with that this time. Man advantage for Big.
He made so much noise. He just made so much noise. I was trying to jump up on the bench or something. He just couldn't see where he was going. Blame says, thank you very much. That's an easy kill. What do BB team elect to do? Take it in towards middle. Siren as a lurk over at ramp. Zorta will find JDC. I think Tabson's been spotted. Blame now known about. They need to clear out Tabson, and they will. This spam is now coming forward into the short. It's going to funnel them straight into Blame F. And Bubich knows that Blame F is right here and maybe right for the taking. Instead, he'll just smoke off. Remember, Bubich has got the bomb. Blame F will spam him back. It is just up to Siren in this round. And Big are going to extend play. 12-10, 2 rounds needed to push it to overtime.
You could see that Boomich was so hungry to swing into Blame F there, and then died anyway, just trying to dump his belter util. Either way, another close one, but Big steady the ship. And there you have it. We've got another close game, 10-12. Big hunting for OT. And BetBoom playing for the last round of regulation. Just one dig in the mix. MagnoJez back in his aim. And BetBoom, they are just splitting for picks here, all across the map.
Going OT.
You reckon?
I can smell it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna get another one.
True. The day started to speed up, so it would only make sense if we get an overtime as well. Barvin. Dealing with the ecos. Saying, look at that. Had my stats. Whoa, that looked good. Shots didn't. And Zorte, 1v5 with the Deagle. You wouldn't read about it, and you're not gonna. 1 for 1 at the end. Minimal damage onto Big's economy. They're going to need not a lot of financial help here. Should have plenty to buy up everything they need and more. BetBoom, on the other hand. Let's see if that full save was enough to nut out a bite. I think so. Yeah, a little light on the util, but they do get the heavy weaponry. AKs for all except Zorte on the stick. And they haven't got too aggressive in the early round. However, yeah, Tabson going to get tested here.
Yeah, this is quick. You're right that they've not really been this invasive, but Tabson will find Siren. The good news is that he didn't spot Magna, who had the bomb. Look at Boomich. Boomich has got so much wiggle room here, and they're going to find out about it the hard way. Flame F, is he able to break open this smoke? No. And Boomich is just players on site. Grix falls as well, and it's Flame F for 27 kills, trying to be the difference maker. He's actually overtaken Magno, but it's Boomich that holds. Tries to lock in the wraparound. Blame F is completely by himself. That's going to pose a very tricky task. There goes Boomich onto Blame F. Diladez is right behind him. They're going to double swing. They're going to take the fight straight up to Favon, and they line up for him. So now it's the original raid boss. Now it's just Magno Jez thrown up into this clutch. 12-11. They need to cross. They need to get on this defuse. Smoke goes in. Magno steps forward. And maybe JDC can just defuse. He's going to try it. It's the only way to win. Magno spams and holds his nerve. It's going to be the clutch out of Magno Jez. And Bet Boom prevent OT right at the last breath.
Oh, I believed it was OT when Favon got that lineup. I thought it was all done and dusted. But as you said, the raid boss, he stood tall and he sends them back to spawn again. It is going to be Bet Boom moving into that 2-0 bracket. What a bloody game out of them. Big still has a few more best of ones to play. A few more? Maybe just one. But that being said, look, they showed exactly what they're capable of, kept it so close there and show that they are here to win as well. And I can't wait to see what we get from these teams once we move into those best of threes.